Have you ever wondered what makes the ultimate villager trading hall in Minecraft? I've thought of this very thing since 2016, iterating through trading hall and villager sorter designs, half of which are in worlds I don't even have access to anymore. Many players, myself included, have spent many a time with clunky and overcrowded and just completely disorganized trading setups that just lead to wasted time and resources. We've all been there, clicking through these cramped spaces, trying your best to find exactly the trade that you want, but you just can't quite find the guy. You don't know where he went. He crawled up to some corner. It's frustrating. It takes time away from the fun of the game. But what if I told you there was a better way? A way to streamline your trading experience, making it faster, more efficient, and downright enjoyable to use. Now, let's start off by clearly stating my goals with this trading hall. I want an easy-to-use trading hall that automatically moves villagers from a breeder into either a villager sorter to then be sent to a permanent trading hall with zombification, or directly sent to a trading hall. I want the sorter set up to be able to automatically call on fresh villagers while sorting, and for me to be able to interact with basically the entire system through each individual module. I want the same functionality with the trading hall setup, but with each module being sent to a zombification instead of automatic villager refills. That way you can return said villager back to its cell after zombification. And lastly, I want a gap of 1 block between villager modules so there's no issues between villagers claiming workstations. So we've settled on a simple layout based on the goals we've stated before. Now we just need to figure out how we're going to get the villagers into these modules. How I've decided to do that is, well, rails and minecarts. So we're going to place some string here, and this is where the next cell would be. So sure, we'll go ahead and place an observer and a string there too, just to show off. Then we'll come up by 1, basically covering the hole that they're supposed to drop through, and over 1, another on top of these trapdoors here, which will be holding the villagers in because they're not, or because they're too tall to fit through this gap. And then we're going to go ahead and place lever, 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 and we're going to alternate some activator rails and power rails up here. This is going to be the main mechanic on how we actually get the villagers in here. This block is covering the hole, so we're going to go ahead and place an observer and a piece of string. Then a piece of string over here too, and another observer just for brevity. Then we want to cover all of this with glass. And here I'll actually grab some specific glass because this needs to actually be glass. But we don't want to cover the block that they're going to be falling in. So this sort of pattern right here, just like this. And we also want to cover this right here and down here. Now we're leaving a space here because we have to power these somehow. So we're going to go ahead and place a block here, and grab a comparator. And from those comparators are going to be some, copper bulbs. Now we need a way to pull these blocks out. So we're going to go ahead and come out with a piston like this right here. And you could do it like this. Boop, boop, temporary block, and just like that. And basically this directly bud powers this, or will actually directly powering it, because imagine this is a door. This is 2 blocks tall. It's pointing directly into the piston, top block of the piston, and powering it that way. So it's going to pull this block out, and bada boom, bada bang. Moving on. Now we need some blocks down here. Now, hint or a little tip: the the block of iron that I've got here on my hotbar, I'm going to be using that specifically for redstone blocks that need to be powered. And the white stained glass is any building block that you can use, and obviously this glass up here needs to be specifically glass. So using any building block here, we're going to go ahead and place some powered rails down. And for this case, you can do it on this side like this, or you can even do it on this side like this. I'm going to do it on this side just because that's how I have, my schematic set up, which is what I'm building off of. Yeah, I don't have that great of a memory. I did make it, but so what? Deal with it. And then from this, we need an observer here with any building block here, and go ahead and place some powered rails just like this, with another observer like this, and a glass block or any building block like that. And we're going to have some powered rails here and an observer just like this, with a block, any building block, an observer, and a specific redstone block. Then we're going to have powered rail and powered rail. You want that to actually turn on whenever you do that. And that's essentially the system to put the villager in here. Now we want to add a few different options. For one, I want to be able to fire the villager if I don't like its trades, or if I do like its trades, I want to then be able to, from a sorter, I'm thinking from a sorter, I want to be able to send it from that sorter to a permanent villager trading hall. And once it's in that villager trading hall, I want to be able to further have the option to, if I find a better offer from someone else, to be able to replace them with another better employee, or even renegotiate prices with existing employees, existing villagers. I want these options. So we're going to go ahead and come in here with some note blocks. One here. Actually, we don't need one here with the way I've got this set up. We're going to put one here and one here for this cell. Module. You can think of it like a cell though. This note block will correspond with this module, and this note block will correspond with this module. You can, if you wish, to flip this and do it opposite. If you want, you can do it however you wish. You can rotate it, flip it, however you want, so long as where you need to alternate things, you will alternate things. I will show you that in a bit. That's why I have the second one coming up, which we're going to go ahead and put this stuff in. We're going to do just like we did here, but instead of doing powered rails, we want activator rails. That way they don't interact with each other at all when gathering these power. So come up here with this and building block up here. And here you can use the powered rails. Once again, that's not going to matter. It's up here where it matters, where you want to come over here and use the activator rails. And then grab your observer, block, building block, observer, redstone block, and your rails. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and replace that and that with some copper bulbs. These are going to be just some indicators that try to give you some semblance of an idea of what mode you're in between firing and keeping and zombification and firing, you know, just so that you don't accidentally fire an employee when you want to renegotiate prices, because you're going to be doing all of that from this interface right here, individually making these decisions with each individual villager. Slight correction, you want these note blocks to actually come out by one, because we're going to be putting observers here like this and like this, and we're going to have observers facing down here and here to the side like this. That way, bada boom, bing. And let's hope this doesn't interact with anything. Oh, awesome. We can do it like that. Rails just like that in there with these pointing down. Then we want a block here, and we want a block here, and come down with your building blocks. Come over like this. We only need to come over one like this, but we want to come over two like this. And here, the same sort of story. We want to alternate down here as well, just like that. That way, none of these interact with each other. Then we want to come up here and try our best to get this observer facing up like that. You can do it. Luckily, I've got Tweakaroo and I can just do it like that. Now, let's get further on, because you're wondering, how are we going to get the villagers out of these cells once they're in here? Go ahead and just kind of bump these out just a little bit to kind of... Oh, yep. That makes sense. Duh, putting things underneath the note blocks. Duh, Yeller, and that's how things work. All right. Actually, let's leave those like that, because we're going to want to do boop, boop, bring these pistons out just like this, and we're going to want to come down underneath them. And this is how we're going to control whenever we're inputting our decision exactly what we want. So we're going to have our note block like this with a observer down here. Go ahead and put it down here over like this too. And we're going to have a block here with another block here and another one here, and then really just any building block there. Then you're going to want to grab a redstone dust here, a redstone torch there, which will power that, and a redstone torch or a redstone repeater set on 4 ticks, just like that. Now, you do that, block retracts and falls out. Now we want to further extend this, essentially a tube that we've created here. Go ahead and bring this down like this, because we're going to want to come down a little bit. Now I actually want to get rid of that because I actually kind of forgot about. We want an observer here, and let's go ahead and get these rails back out and put that back in like that. And we're gonna go ahead and grab a dispenser right here with a piston directly underneath it. And we will slap a block just like this and slap a lava bucket in that dispenser right there. That is a dispenser, yep. And you'll notice whenever you click this button here, that will toggle. This block will be retracted and lava will be dispensed. This is your fire mode. This is your keep mode right here. And in the event you want to keep them, they will continue falling, where we will continue building. Now we want another observer and string setup. Let's go ahead and put that in right here. And we'll go ahead and grab a block here, 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 and actually probably there even, but we're gonna leave that out for now for reasons we'll show you in a little bit. Now we need another dispenser right here with, I'm gonna go ahead and put a empty bucket in there. I'm grabbing a water bucket, you'll see why in a bit, but grab an empty bucket in there. Now temporarily, let's go ahead and come out here like this. Piston sticking down, and is it this way? Yes, this way, just like this. And I want actually specifically a glass block here. And I'll show you why here in a bit. I want a rail here, and we're going to put another dispenser down here. Now, just like with pistons and being able to bud power them and acting like they're doors, you can do the same thing with dispensers and droppers. So when this observer gets pushed down, it's going to update and power directly into this block here. It'll do the same thing whenever it comes up here, but most it'll do is power this rail here, and it won't power anything else. So we'll be fine there. It won't be bud powering it either because that's not a full block that is powering. So now further on, this is where we're going to have some minecarts set up. Let me go ahead and grab those out, I suppose. Now these minecarts are going to be coming out like this, and they're going to be picking up the villagers from this block here with a little bit of a trick. We're going to come up right here, out right here, and we're actually going to replace that block with a regular block. You'll see here in a bit. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of trickery because I already have water in there, which is where they're falling, with an empty bucket here. We're going to do rail, 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 and we can go ahead and do this. Thankfully, rails hold back water. We can do that, then we can break that and put that back in. Bada boom, bada bing, and then we can come in here and power these. Yep, we can break those and put those back in, and that should be everything. All right, so kind of like what I was showing earlier, just a small example of what I was talking about. They should pretty quickly pick up on their workstations, as long as this first guy picks his up. I think he's a little more focused on the damage that he just took. There we go. We got that guy. Now the next guy should have no problem picking up this workstation here, and then the next guy after him. Hopefully they don't start fighting over workstations. Yeah, and then this guy is gonna pretty easily pick up this one, and so on. And he's picked that up, and this guy's gonna pick up this one probably before this next guy even gets to his module. Maybe. Yep. See, they still picked up the professions they should have had, even though they were in completely different cells. So there should be pretty much no issues when filling up this design here. Just so long as you don't, click this note block too close together. Let's see if we get any issues there. Yeah, see. Then we get the guy getting popped out over here in places he shouldn't, which you can probably mostly fix that. But yeah, issues like that shouldn't happen so long as you run the system correctly and don't spam it. So no, it's not spam. The beauty of this farm is that it is 2-wide tileable, even though it is in a 3-wide format, because you can shove the second module basically into that third block where they're sharing a block between them. It's called 2-wide tileable, and it comes together pretty daggone seamlessly for a very, very satisfying finished product when you put it all together. So unlike many of Grian's previous builds, the back actually looks pretty good even if you leave it unfinished. So we've set our goals and come to an elegant solution. This design not only works exceptionally reliably and looks good, but it's also incredibly easy and intuitive to use and interact with from any point within the system. But these are only my thoughts, and I want to hear what you think is the ultimate villager trading hall. While you're typing your responses down below, I kinda want to tell you how you can become a sponsor of this channel. Yes, you. By joining the channel as a member with the join button down below, or by pledging to my Patreon, I'll link it down below. You can see your name at the end of this video listed as a sponsor for your contribution and support. By pledging to my Patreon, you will be entitled to different additional benefits, depending on the amount pledged, but anything $5 or more will give you access to my private Discord community of like-minded individuals, and for those who wish to go above and beyond, another even more private text and voice channel that, well, I personally check into and interact with regularly, and on special occasions, I may jump into the voice channel too and have a little community chat. Now, back to the topic at hand. The system certainly isn't the ultimate villager trading hall, but it does what it was designed to do, and it does it well. I certainly had fun designing it, and plan on using this for the foreseeable future, unless I absolutely need more functionality out of my trading setup, or need a tileable design, which I don't see myself really using very often in the future. This one is already quite compact and elegant in my opinion, but if you're looking for more functionality, I positively won't hesitate to recommend you check out this video by Nico is Lost. Seriously, it's a good trading hall. Go check it out right now. End of video. Bye!